Tutorial 9. This one's a long one. We show you camera settings, we show you tools, and we show you Photoshop textures and layers. Now go outside, play with some tools. On my workbench we've got here a whisk from the kitchen attached to a bit of wire. I put some steel wool in this and spin it around. It's not my favourite tool, however. That would be, where are we? My favourite tool is this one. It's a bird cage feeder. You just put some feed in that and whatever, you know, birds enjoy themselves. It's attached to a dog leash with a little bit of tube so the rope doesn't cut my hand. So what we do with these things is we take this quadruple zero steel wool. Now I know you think steel doesn't burn because it's a metal, but watch this. It does. See? Pretty. Now when you spin that and burn it around, it's even more pretty. Now this stuff, this is magnesium shavings. You pick them up off Amazon. You use just a little bit. Put a tiny amount in, too much and it will blow a hole in the ground. We roll it back up, we put it in the bird cage. Alright, we're outside. I've got a camera set up facing a ladder across the street. We're going to do some spinning here. The camera is set to f5.6. It is ISO 200. And we're going to take repeated 4-second photographs. I just put the wire wool and spin, trying not to get hit by cars. Alright, that was it. Piece of cake. So, let's do the Photoshop part. Here we have the 5 pictures I took. I used something called Dr. Brown's Services to load them up. Stack-O-Matic. I set the blending mode to lighten, I'll explain that in a second, and I set the layer mask to reveal. Alright, this is our 5 images stacked up in the lighten mode, so all of the light pixels blend together and show you as if it was one image. Now, I'm going to recolor this, so I'm going to first of all select just the top part of the picture. I'm doing this because I don't want the ground to be coloured when I colour in later on. I switch off all the layers there on the right and I select a colour on my paintbrush. I'm going to choose the nice yellow layer. About there. Now, get the fill tool, set it to, roughly 30, I just want the defaults, and then just click on the white and there we go. That's my yellow spin. I now do that for all of the other 5 colours. Now the black one obviously isn't going to work, so we'll skip that and we'll make an Olympic ring that's white. Alright, 5 colours. Now they're not quite lined up, so I select the move tool and then using either the mouse or the keyboard, your call, I click on a layer and then just drag them around until they're exactly where I wanted them. I guess if I'd have been a professional I'd have marked the road so I stood in the right place and spun in the right place, but that's just way too hard. Alright, there we go. Olympic things. Now you can see me in them, and that's no good. So let's switch all the layers off and go for a brush, nice and soft. And then on that layer mask that we automatically added, whoops, made a little mistake there. I'm just going to shrink the brush down using the left and right bracket keys on the keyboard. I'm just going to paint myself out. Now this is black background, so it doesn't matter. And I'll do that for all the others. Switch the layers off, select the mask, click, click. Same again. Remove the ladder. Remove the ladder, remove the paintbrush, there we go, and we're done. So now I'm going to select all of the layers and then holding the shift key down I'm going to put them into a group which we'll call spin. Now I'm going to add a background layer which is going to be black because I punched some holes in this diagram and I don't want them to show through. So we'll take a black layer and we'll just move it behind the spin layer and that just hides any holes that may accidentally come in. Now let's duplicate the group. We'll call this one reflection. And I'm going to merge it together to make it a single image so it's nice and flat. We don't want the file getting too big. Okay. Now let's change the blend mode. We're going to change it to lighten just like before and we're going to change the opacity something really low, maybe 20%. Now up here on the edit menu I'm going to go to transform, flick vertical, I'm going to grab the move tool, I'm just going to drag it down to the bottom of the screen and there we go. Now we have a reflection. Alright, let's keep going. What we're going to do now is file, place. I'm going to add some texture to this. These are some textures I picked up off Demonoid. This one is a dirty American flag. It's all gritty and nice. I'll just drop that into the top, size it down. There we go. And now watch this. I'm going to change its overlay mode to lighten as well, and this probably maybe 40%, there we go. So now it's become an interesting background for the Olympics. Let's do that again. I'm going to do place. This time let's find a scan of the Constitution of the United States. There we go. Place that up there. Stretch it out a little bit. I'm going to use a different blend mode this time. I'm going to use overlay. Put that on there. I don't need to do that. Alright. Shift click, put them in a group again. Rename that as texture. I'm going to add a layer mask to this because it's just a little bit crazy here. So here what I'm going to do is use the dark brush. I'm just going to paint over here just to make that perfect. It's a little bit crazy, so I'll switch to white, lower the opacity of the brush, and then just paint back in some of that layer mask around the edge to make the thing soft. There we go. Done. Easy. Go USA. Alright, now let's do this for real. USA. It's a British Olympics and I'm British, so let's take a Union Jack, exactly the same as before. Get one with some grit on it, nice and dirty. Using the place tool, I put it in the top right hand corner. Again, this came from Demonoid. Stretch it out. This is exactly the same as you saw before. And change the blend mode to be lightened, just like before. Set it at 20%. And then I'm going to go, because this is Britain, I don't need the Constitution of America. This time I'm going to grab the Magna Carta, the greatest document written by the human race. I'm going to do that, put that on there. That one happens to be the right size. That's a coincidence. And I'll change it to overlay mode, just like before, and there we go. Rule Britannia.